What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about Gwenpool. Gwenpool is such a fascinating character. She's been in the game for a long time now. I believe she was released in 2017, and she has remained unchanged, I believe, since that release, but she's been locked as a 6-star at the highest rarity for a very long time. Although that's changing in December. So if you're not aware, in December, I believe starting on the 10th and going to the 19th or the 20th, maybe it's the 11th going to the 20th, I'm not sure, but in the middle of December, for 10 days straight, we're going to receive a free 7-star champion if you're Paragon or above for 10 days. And one of those 7 stars is Gwenpool. So because she's getting introduced as a 7-star, I thought it'd be cool to revisit Gwenpool and kind of check her out in 2024, 2025, see where she stands, see how she holds up, and maybe people would be interested in ranking her as a 7-star. Regardless of how I feel about her at the end of this video, I do want to say that Gwenpool is very fun and she is super cool to use. Doesn't need to be awakened, but the awakened ability is nice, and I'll show all that off later in the video. But we can go over the kit here. It's pretty short overall. She's a very 2017 character. The ability list is not very long. So the SIG is essentially a special damage cap where she can't take more than a certain percentage of her health, her current health, from any hit of a special attack. So as long as there's no damage over time attached to the special attack, she'll never die from specials. Now, of course, assassin and things like that, and things that reduce ability accuracy can get around this. But if none of that is in play, Gwenpool can never die from a special attack that has no burst damage or damage over time attached to it. So that's pretty cool. Decent utility. Additionally, she reduces the opponent's defensive ability accuracy based on her current combo meter. Now, this is a bit vague, but I can confirm that every hit in the combo meter reduces the ability accuracy by 2%. This was confirmed a long time ago, and I'm not sure why it doesn't display in the SIG itself, but all you need is 50 hits, and the opponent's defensive ability accuracy is reduced by 100%. Now, obviously, each hit is going to reduce it by 2%, so that number can go beyond 100, but for most things, it's not going to matter to go above 100. So 3% chance to stun per bleed on the target lasting for 0.75 seconds. You can do some fun stun chains if you get lucky, and you'll see that in a couple of the clips that I have. And then she has a 30% chance to inflict the bleed on all attacks. So it's not based on crit, it's not based on sword, it's just every attack has a 30% chance to inflict bleed, which is not bad. There's no condition for the bleed to trigger. It's just every hit 30% chance to trigger a bleed. Not bad. Now, one thing I like about Gwenpool, and is not really utilized a lot, or from my recollection wasn't utilized a lot when she was relevant as an attacker, is the heavy attack. So if the target isn't bleeding, it is a 5% chance to cause bleed, which is just kind of a weird ability. Just a 5% chance on heavy is strange. It's the second string that's cool. If the target is bleeding, this attack gains a 100% chance to convert one existing bleed into a big bleed for 27 seconds. And of course, that number goes up with deep wounds. So you can utilize this to maintain some of your debuffs from the special 2 and your special 3, and even the special 1 if you want to do that. So this heavy attack is super underrated for her kit, and I'm going to explain why now. So the special 1 deals an incinerate, doesn't really matter. I'm going to move on to the special 2 and special 3. That's what really counts. 100% chance to inflict an enervate debuff, preventing the opponent from gaining power when struck for 7 seconds. And then this second line right here. When this effect expires, it has a 100% chance to consume one bleed effect to reapply itself. That is the same for her special 3 armor break, which is very potent. It can reapply itself if a bleed is available to consume. So let's just jump right into the gameplay, not waste any time here. I will say the first 2 fights are short form content, and I think Gwenpool is okay in short form content. I wouldn't say she is the best skill, or I don't think she'll be one of the best new 7-star skill champions to use in short form, but she definitely has some decent damage. This is a rank 5 ascended Gwenpool, no synergies, no boosts, with a 5-star maxed out Black Panther relic. That's easily the best relic for her. The crits, placing the physical vulnerability is the best out of all other relics for her. There is no bleed relic, really. So, until that day happens, Black Panther will be the best for Gwenpool. But you can see I went for my special 2 here, not my special 3, and the point of that is to just keep him power locked forever. Enervate is not a true power lock, it just prevents power being granted to the opponent when getting struck, so power gain and stuff like that will get around Enervate. But you can do stuff like this and keep the opponent on lockdown if they don't have any source of external power gain. And that was 260,000 health in 46 seconds. That's not bad, you know, from a 6-star rank 5 Ascended champion. Definitely nothing to scoff at, nothing to complain about. I think it's solid numbers for short form. I think Gwenpool is great in medium form content. Now, I know back in the day, people like Brian Grant used to do Labyrinth of Legends runs with Gwenpool, and while I wouldn't advise doing long form content with her nowadays, maybe as a 7-star she'll feel decent for Everest adjacent content. I don't think people will be running to use her in Necropolis, but I think in certain situations like Act content and potentially some EOP style content, I think she'd be very useful because of how she scales with that armor break and how you can just kind of keep the opponent on lockdown when you have both the armor break and the enervate. You can just constantly be intercepting the opponent, and as long as you're triggering bleeds, sorry, I got a flu shot, so I'm moving my arm. As long as you're triggering bleeds, you really shouldn't have to worry about baiting a special attack. Granted, external power gain can cause the opponent to gain power, and that can ruin your rotation a little bit. But for the most part, if you can find a matchup where you can get your Enervate and your Armor Break and keep them simultaneously, it's going to be a good time, which is exactly what I do in this next fight. So this is 900,000 health Sentry, or 850, you know, 9,000, whatever, it's basically the same thing. And what I do here is I go straight for my special 3 first, and then I go for my special 2. What that's going to do is that's going to apply the big armor break that Gwenpool gains, and then once that armor break is active, I can build up to my special 2, throw my special 2 to get the Enervate, and as long as I have at least 2 bleeds on the opponent, and they expire not simultaneously, but, you know, back to back, as long as there's 2 bleeds on the opponent constantly, my armor break and my Enervate will always be active. So I'll have that massive damage increase from the armor break, and the opponent won't be gaining any power from the Enervate. So as you can see, I've got that armor break up now, and I almost had a little stun chain going there. I'm not sure if I get a stun chain in this fight, but I have gotten stun chains before with other fights that I've used Gwenpool for in the past. You can see I'm throwing that heavy attack to get some of my big bleeds up, and now my goal is just to get to my special 2. I'm trying to bait a special 2 of Sentry here. I get a nice stun proc on the end of my heavy, so I can go straight in for a special 2. And now the name of the game is just be as aggressive as possible. So you can either just keep attacking the opponent and not worry about doing the heavy attack, or you can do what I end up doing, what I end up doing here, and I just get Sentry in the corner, and I heavy spam, and that's all I do. I'm converting all of those bleeds into long bleeds, and I have plenty of time on both my armor break and my Enervate to just do this until Sentry is gone. There was probably enough bandwidth with that whole rotation to take off another 600,000 health from that one loop. So I think Gwenpool, for moderate style content, medium health pools, feels good, feels very good. She's simple yet effective, and I didn't even get to show off the signature ability. That's what I'm doing now. So, like I said, the Sig prevents her from dying from special attack hits, and this, what I'm showing here, is just a duel against my rank 3 Hyperion with the 4-star Gwenpool. But this is pretty cool utility. It allows her to never die from special attacks. Now, I think I get a little lucky here and get either a stun chain or just he doesn't throw his special until now. But you can see that I took, you know, more than half of my health there in damage. And I'm taking even more damage now from blocked hits, just to show that it doesn't matter how low I go, Gwenpool will never die from a special 3. As long as there is no damage over time or burst damage attached to it, she is always going to survive. You can see the damage is getting lower and lower. That was 600 damage from Hyperion. Hyperion hits very hard. So to deal 600 damage on your special 3 is kind of ridiculous. And as long as you're comfortable playing at low health, you'll never die from specials. You can even intentionally tank special hits as long as there's no stun attached to them, just to build power and, you know, bait their special by literally getting hit by it. That is another strategy you can use with Gwenpool. Or just push the special 3 like I'm doing here. I'm not going to show the rest of this fight because I just end up killing him with combos. But yeah, that's one part of her SIG. Now, this is another part. This is the second line, which is reducing the opponent's defensive ability accuracy by 2% per hit in her combo. It's 2%, trust me, you're going to see it ends up being 2% when I get to a combo 50 here. Just trust me, I know the number is correct. So every hit reduces the opponent's ability accuracy by 2%, like I just mentioned. And that's really good for things like Electro, or things like Spider Character Evade, or a Things Rock Stack Wink Wink that I'm showing in a little bit here. We're already at 35 hits, and yes, we've taken a lot of damage. I don't recommend using Gwenpool to fight Electro. That is not the point of me showing this off. I am just simply showing off that she has the ability to turn off his static shock completely. So now we're at 50 hits, and if you look at Gwenpool's health, I'm not taking any static shock damage. I'm dealing some pretty decent numbers as well, and just no static shock damage was taken at all. So pretty decent utility from the SIG. I think Gwenpool has aged fairly well. I don't know. I think an Awakened 7-star Gwenpool would see some use in 2024, 2025. I would need to see the numbers, you know? I would need to see how she feels, you know, without the special 3 armor break, and maybe with 3 out of 5 deep wounds at a rank 3 7-star level. And I guarantee you there's going to be people out there who take Gwenpool up to rank 3 as a 7-star. And if I can get her on the beta next month prior to everyone getting her on the live server, I'll revisit this video with her as a rank 3 7-star, and I'll update my opinion on her. But I think Gwenpool has aged fine. I don't think she's this stellar champion that has shown her worth over time, kind of like Hyperion and Archangel have, or Stark Spidey. Um, or even like, I don't know, Ghost is still super relevant. She came out almost 5 years ago. But that's neither here nor there. I think she's cool. I think for what she was designed to be, she works and she's fun. But I need to see how she feels as a 7-star to kind of solidify my opinion on her. But right now, I think she'd be a fun character, and I think the 7-star has the chance and the opportunity to be a really cool addition to the game. But that's all I really wanted to talk about with Gwenpool here. Let me know your thoughts down below on Gwenpool. Are you a fan? Do you have her ranked up? And if you do you use her anywhere? If you do use her somewhere, tell me where you use her. If you find her useful in places, I'd love to hear from you. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to show off for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it if you stuck it all the way to the end. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. We're on the road to 40 and eventually 50,000 subscribers, so all of your support is greatly appreciated, and I'll catch you in the next one.